Hey, what's up, guys? So I've been meaning to shoot this video for a while, to give you guys a couple of things to think about before you get involved with breeding dogs. I noticed a big uptick in in new breeders popping up, just the oversaturation of the dog market, in general. A lot of it is due to COVID. Once everyone got all those COVID checks, everyone was getting free money. People had extra money that they usually didn't have. So a lot of people got into breeding dogs through that. And I noticed, as things started winding down with all the COVID lockdowns and stuff, I was getting a lot of people calling me, asking me about buying dogs from them. So a lot of them realized they didn't want them, or, whatever the case may be. But, there's a few things you want to think about before you get involved with breeding dogs. It's not all, I know on social media people make it look easy and it looks like it's all fun and games, but you're only seeing the good parts of it. You're not seeing all the money people lose, getting dogs stolen, dogs passing away, litters passing away. There's a million reasons how people lose their money breeding dogs. And even if you have a healthy litter at birth, that doesn't mean they're all going to survive. If you don't know how to take care of these puppies, and there's a lot to know about taking care of them, if you don't, if you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna lose. You could lose a lot of money. A breeding costs thousands of dollars. Sometimes you're paying $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to use someone's stud. You're paying another $1,000 for a C-section. So it's real easy to lose thousands of dollars real quick. Then say if you sell a puppy and there's an issue with it, you have to replace that puppy. You can't charge someone thousands of dollars for a dog and then not replace the puppy if there's something wrong with it. We give a year health guarantee on all of our, any puppy we sell comes with a year health guarantee. So if something happens to where that dog is like a neurological problem or just anything that results in the puppy having to be put down or something, I replace the puppy for the people. But yeah, I suggest before you go invest a lot of money in breeding dogs, if you're dead set on breeding them, I think you should go watch a lot of YouTube videos at least to learn there's a lot of tricks. I learned it all through experience. I didn't know anyone that bred dogs when I started doing it, so I didn't have anyone to show me the little tricks of making money or just not losing money. So I learned it all through trial and error. But there's better ways to do it nowadays with all the YouTube videos. I'm gonna be shooting tutorials on a lot of stuff. But yeah, there's a lot of ways you can learn it, or you can start going to dog shows and just meet breeders, ask questions. The problem is a lot of people don't want to tell you, because nobody told them. They had to go through it, which I understand. I feel that way too a lot of times, when people, because a lot of these little tricks, they sound easy, but you only learn them, certain medicines to use for certain things, and just to make your success rate better, have healthier, bigger litters more often, and to make sure they survive so that you're able to sell them. So yeah, just before you go sinking all your money into it, or before you go rushing into it, there's a lot of things like you don't ever get a break. You don't ever get a day off. If you breed animals, unless you have someone that cares for them for you, which most likely you won't, because not many people are making that much money off of them to be able to afford to pay a full-time staff to care for the dogs. So yeah, it's just before you jump into it, just make sure there's a lot of things to take into consideration. But guys, yeah, just keep that in mind. It's not all social media makes it look like it's all fun and games. And I know, it's fun taking pictures of them and stuff and posting them, but it's a huge commitment. So just make sure it's a commitment you're ready to get involved with, because once you have the dogs, you can't just take them to the ASPCA. You gotta do everything you can to make sure that none of those dogs ever wind up in the ASPCA. You know, if you sell dogs, tell the people, you know, if you ever can't keep the dog, to let me know so that you can find a good home for the dog. That's a big part of it. It's just having people skills and just knowing how to find the right people. You know, a lot of people just sell the dog to whoever. I won't do that, no matter how much money it's for. If I don't think it's a good home, you know, when I'm feeling the people out, talking to them, whatever, I won't deal with them. You know, it's just not worth it. Besides what it does to the animals, it's just bad for business. It's bad for your overall brand of, you know, getting known for selling shit dogs or aggressive dogs, or dogs, you know, just a bunch of your dogs showing up at the ASPCA. You know, there's a lot of people that will take the dogs. You know, there's always people looking for a dog for somebody elderly, or just whoever, somebody that's lonely, maybe can't afford to buy a dog like this that they want. So believe me, when you got nice dogs and you're giving them away for free, people will take them. And you just gotta be careful though, because there's a million resellers, you know, that scan the free groups on Facebook and stuff like that, that they'll come take the dog, then they'll try to resell it, and they'll sell it to whoever, and then the dog winds up in a bad situation. So you gotta be careful of that. But yeah, besides that, like, you know, another very important thing is you gotta make sure you have a good vet in your area, or at least a good vet in driving distance. Like, I drive 2.5 hours each way to my vet. I have 2 different vets I use, and they're both 2.5 hours each way, just in separate directions. So yeah, just make sure you're careful about all that, and do your homework before jumping into it. Like I said, the market's getting oversaturated. The dogs are getting harder and harder to sell. They're selling for less and less money, which is, you know, they should be going up in price, but they're going down in price because of the oversaturation, you know, due to COVID and whatever. But hopefully that all balances out. You know, and like I said, social media has a lot to do with it. There's a lot of people posting their content, including myself, posting our content on the social media platforms. So, you know, and then people start hearing maybe different numbers. That's people's telling them that they sold a dog for, or whatever. So it makes them want to get into it, but they just jump into it and don't realize the commitment or how easy it is to take losses when you're dealing with live animals, because there's no way you can't predict the outcome. Even sometimes you might have 10 puppies at birth, and over the next 2 weeks you might lose 8 of them. You might lose all of them. You know, you don't know. So, you know, all you can do is do your best to keep them alive, but knowing all the little tips and tricks of the trade, you know, just to having healthy dogs in general, having healthy pregnancies, you know, healthy litters, and that they all grow up healthy. There's a lot of things that you got to know. So do your research before jumping into it, and that's all I got, guys. All right.